The 1st of May signals the start of activities, which climaxes in the famous Memorial Day Classic. Drivers and crewmen arrive from all parts of the country, for Indianapolis is the mecca of the racing fraternity. Now begins a time of testing, experimenting, and retraining. Cars are towed to the pit area, ready for their first easy laps around the track. The tempo begins to pick up. A feeling of expectation and excitement hangs in the air. And with the approach of the half-century mark, the realization of a dream lies within reach. The much sought-after speed of 150 miles per hour. In 1960, a rookie named Jim Hurtubise astounds the racing world by qualifying within a split second of the 150 mile per hour mark. Veteran driver and former national champion Tony Bettenhausen accepts the challenge laid down the year before. He tests his new car at a speed of 149.2 miles per hour, just a whisker away from Hurtubise's record. This sets the pace, and the search for speed begins. Rookie drivers make their first runs under the watchful eyes of USAC officials. Older drivers counsel them about the 4 tricky corners, puzzles that several generations of racers have tried to solve. The testing continues. Speeds mount higher and higher. And Russ Condon discovers that the wall on turn 4 is very hard indeed. Then Bud Tingelstad, in his search for speed, loses control for 1 split second. And turn 4 begins to look like a giant tic-tac-toe game. The racing world gets a jolt when John Cooper of England brings his light rear-engine car to the speedway. In early tests, Jack Bravo, world road racing champion, drives the Coventry Climax-powered car around the Indianapolis track with ease. Speeds of 144 miles per hour are attained, and the car shows superior cornering ability. Chief Steward Harlan Fengler gives John Cooper a list of do's and don'ts, among which is a helpful hint about being sure the wheels are on tight. On turn 4 again, Dwayne Carter, losing a wheel, spins helplessly down the track as Don Freeland does everything but stand his car on end to avoid collision. Cars are like individuals, and each one has its peculiarities. Another rookie's in trouble. Roger McCluskey woefully inspects his damaged car. Perhaps thinks about some other profession. The drivers who take high-speed chances are not alone. It takes the skill of many people to make a car go fast enough to get in a race. Automotive engineers come to the speedway with stopwatches and slide rules to help and to learn. Here in this high-speed laboratory, drivers sweat out the capabilities of their cars. The big question before Jimmy Daywalt, is it fast enough for the race? 142 miles per hour isn't poking, but it isn't fast enough. Daywalt believes the car can do better. Can the engine be tuned to make better use of the powerful fuel? A conference between owner-mechanic Ollie Prather and Mobil's top race fuel engineer explores the problem. What engine adjustments will transform the fuel's great energy into maximum horsepower? Advice, suggestions, and the complicated racing engine is retuned. Now the car is ready to qualify. Jimmy Daywalt wheels out of the pits onto the track to drive the 4 laps which constitute his qualifying run. (144.219 miles per hour). Daywalt wins a starting position in the fastest field of cars the Speedway has ever seen. And then it rained. Qualifying slowed up. But a magic moment of perfect track conditions arrives for Lloyd Ruby. He starts out to qualify the car that Tony Bettenhausen would have driven. He takes the turns with ease and crosses the finish line with a blistering average of almost 147 miles per hour. Speeds of 147 miles an hour don't come easily. Experienced drivers begin their fight for speed with slow laps around the track. 134 miles per hour is a good beginning after 11 months' absence. And for rookies, there's a personally conducted tour of the track with steward Paul Johnson, who has helped new drivers for 2 generations. Together they study the techniques for attaining the breakneck speed of qualifying and race day. Later in his own car, the rookie starts at 120 miles an hour. Building his speed, it increases to 5 miles per hour. He undergoes a severe test of his driving skill at a variety of speeds. The judges are active drivers and experienced officials, and they must be convinced that a rookie's driving is safe and competent before he's accepted. After a few days of practice, the lid comes off, and the word is go. Go as fast as you think you can. Even a veteran driver like Jimmy Daywalt can push his car beyond the ragged edge. But the search continues, and the practice speeds grow faster. Parnelli Jones, last year's sensational rookie, tops 148, then 149, and in one magic moment, almost breaks the 150-mile-an-hour barrier. Parnelli holds on to his precious lead. He's been in front for more than 80 laps and is piling up prize money at the rate of $150 a lap. But all is not well. His pit crew questions his brakes, but he keeps charging. Roger Ward is second and running on his tail. Ward must make another pit stop. This one takes only 23 seconds. Back he goes, chasing Parnelli. Len Sutton comes in. His smooth working crew almost looks like aerobic, but Len hardly has time to drink a cup of water before he's shoved back on the track. Eddie Sachs, who's doing a beautiful job of driving and has fought his way into third place from the 27th spot, is in for tires and fuel, but not for long. The race roars on. Ward has moved ahead of Parnelli. It looks like Parnelli is in trouble. He's running without brakes and gliding down the pit apron. He can't stop. He bounces over wheels and tires in a frantic effort to slow down, then scrapes into the pit wall to stop. He's been running without brakes since the 76th lap. With no brakes to slow him down entering the turns, he must drive at an overall slower speed. Roger Ward holds his lead. His sizzling average of more than 140 miles per hour, including running at slow speeds under the caution light, plus a total time of only 1 minute, 2 seconds for 3 pit stops, puts him way out in front. 3 laps to go. Ward in front. Len Sutton is second. Eddie Sachs third, after rushing through from a 27th starting position. Ward takes the white flag, and his crew goes wild. Then he takes the checkered flag. A fantastic win. A new record of over 140 miles an hour average for the entire 500 miles. It's Ward's second trip into the winner's circle. The 41-year-old veteran driver first won the Memorial Day Classic in 1959. He knows right where to go. The thrill is bigger this time, he says, than before.
Jim McElreath, the sensational rookie of 1962, is the first driver to make the 10-mile qualifying run. +149 miles per hour is fast, but wind, the enemy of all race drivers, buffets the straightaways in dangerous gusts. Parnelli Jones takes his turn. Fastest man on the track in practice, he braves the wind and turns 151.153 miles per hour. It's a new qualifying record and evidence that the traditional Indianapolis race car will be hard to beat. Jim Clark of Scotland is on the track in a Lotus, a car with engine in the rear fashioned after European road racing cars. One of the most radical designs to be introduced at the Speedway, it qualifies easily at a speed of 149.75 miles per hour. Len Sutton, second place in last year's 500, fails to reach the hot pace. His anxious crew yellow flags the qualification attempt, hoping for better conditions. But Don Branson, one of racing's greatest qualifiers, produces second best time of the day with 150.188 miles per hour. Following him onto the track is Jim Hurtubise in the famous Novi supercharged V8. Proven the most powerful cars at the Speedway, the Novis have thrilled the fans for many years, but bad luck has plagued them. Now, Jim Hurtubise breaks the spell with a qualification speed of 150.257 miles per hour. Veteran mechanic Gene Marcinak is nearly overcome with elation, and Jim Hurtubise is ready for the race. The pace car brings the field up to starting speed. Drivers maintain their positions. 3 cars to a row, 11 rows deep. The pace car pulls off the track, and the green flag is out. Parnelli Jones leaps into the lead. But on the backstretch, Jim Hurtubise takes the lead. The crowd roars, but Novi is in front. Parnelli Jones pulls even with Jim Hurtubise on the back straightaway, passes him on the turns, and regains the lead in the second lap. Bobby Unser finds trouble in turn one. His car is against the wall. The caution flag warns drivers to slow down as the emergency crews clean the track. For Bobby Unser and his Novi, the race lasted only a minute and a half.
Car owner Bob Wilkie greets Roger Ward with congratulations on a new qualifying record of 156.406 miles per hour. Bobby Marshman in a tiny British-built Lotus goes even faster, eclipsing Ward's record with a speed of 157.867. It's a hot, fast day, and his pit crew wonders how long the new record will stand. The rear-engine cars continue their successful invasion as Lynn Sutton qualifies his low-slung Offenhauser. The hard-luck driver of 1963 feels the tide has turned as he posts a solid 153.813 miles per hour. Fuel consumption at his all-out speed is recorded to help mobile engineers determine the best fuel blend for Sutton to use on race day. Jim Clark, champion race driver of the world, posts a new one-lap record of over 159 miles per hour. His four-lap average of 158.828 makes him the fastest qualifier and the man to beat on Memorial Day. Hoyt's pit crew proves to be as speedy as their driver. They give him a clean windshield, a drink of water, and a full tank of fuel in 22 seconds. Bill Cheeseburg goes out on the 161st lap, his overworked engine in fragments. This fastest 500 has lost 19 of the 33 starters. Voigt's relentless pace has put him in position to lap second place Roger Ward. With but 4 laps left in the race, Don Branson retires from competition with a broken clutch. Having outdistanced all of his competition, Foyt sweeps through the final lap and takes the checkered flag. Roger Ward, a lap behind him, heads for second place honors. A.J. Foyt steers toward victory lane, where sincere good wishes and the winner's pot of gold await him. His record speed of 147.350 miles per hour will spur new effort, new products, and new strategy in the competitive world of racing, just as surely as it will point to new designs for everyday transportation. But at this moment, A.J. is oblivious of all but that for the second time, he has won the Indianapolis 500.
Red bricks, sentimental reminders of the days when this place was called the Brickyard. The rest of the track is as smooth as modern road builders can make it. But the half-century-old speed challenge lies in the 9-degree banking of the turns. Trying to find the short way around. Clark continues to widen the gap, and A.J. Foyt has to stop thinking about being first, for Parnelli Jones engages him in a duel which completely takes his mind off the front-running Clark. Clark gets the fuel sign and pulls in on the 66th lap. The pit stop takes 17 seconds. Very short, considering that under a new ruling, fuel may be added by gravity flow tanks only. Foyt has the lead, but must soon make a pit stop. He tries to build up space between himself and Clark. Rookie Mario Andretti, in the pits on the 68th lap, desperately tries to get back to the race. He's running fourth and has been holding his own, matching the 150-mile-an-hour speed average set by the leaders. In the 75th lap, A.J. Foyt comes in. Another new ruling this year provides for 2 mandatory pit stops during the race. This does away with the dangerous practice of drivers carrying excessive fuel loads in an attempt to go the distance without stopping. Clark comes down the straightaway and moves back into the lead. Foyt comes out of the pits and takes up his position, but he's now following both Clark and Parnelli Jones. Andretti is right behind in fourth. Bobby Unser goes out with engine failure. Both Novis are out of the race. At the halfway point, Clark leads. Foyt has regained second. But 16 laps later, Foyt pulls abruptly into the pits. His transmission has failed, and he's disgusted. This 1965 500 could have given him his third win, a record attained by only 3 men, Louis Meyer, Maury Rose, and Wilbur Shaw. On the track, Graham Hill from London turns 4 laps at an average of 159.243 miles per hour. The European road racing champion took his first look at the Speedway in 1963, but did not enter the race. Now he has won a place in the 1966 500. The national champion, Mario Andretti, drove one unofficial lap of 168 miles per hour during morning practice on the first day of qualification. An hour later, he has to do it all over again. And this time, the pressure is on. Whatever speed he makes is official, and his starting position for the race hangs on the four-lap performance. He must make this record under the watching eyes of more than 200,000 first-day racing fans. His fastest lap is 166.328, a new all-time official track record. The four-lap average is 165.899. Mario Andretti has put the pole starting position almost beyond the reach of his competition. Stunned, the drivers wait for the track to be cleared. There were no injuries. There was one fire caused by a broken gas line, but rubber fuel cells protecting the gas supply in each car averted what could have been a fiery disaster.
The track is now open for practice.
Opening day always produces a few drivers who seek the distinction of being first on the track. Others take a more leisurely approach. Many of the entries are transported more than 2,000 miles, and upon arrival must be checked and certified by the United States Auto Club Technical Committee. The problem at hand is Parnelli Jones' new turbine-powered car. Engineered and built over a 2-year period by the Granatelli brothers, it is now a question of whether the car and its power plant fit into the existing framework of rule specifications. Safety accessories include a spoiler, which helps to slow the car down, and air scoops which cool the brakes. The 260-pound Pratt & Whitney ST6 aircraft engine has its air intake in the nose of the car. The exhaust is next to the driver. Officials adopt a wait-and-see attitude. But on the track, the car proves to be a fantastic performer. You can barely hear it run. Watch the spoiler work as he goes into the turn.
Off the turn, into the start field, into the fourth turn, out of the corner of the straightaway.
Smooth and fast, but not fast enough to break Andretti's record. The opinion is that maybe Parnelli isn't telling everything he knows about that car.
66.075. What's your time? 801.
On the track, Foyt is running as hard as he can, but Parnelli's turbine is closing fast. Suddenly, Parnelli is running alone. Foyt has gone in for his second pit stop. Parnelli continues to pile up his advantage as early contender Dan Gurney goes out of the race. And Jackie Stewart is getting to hate turn 4. It was right here that his car came to a stop while leading the 1966 race. A 3-car mix-up in turn 3 puts the caution light on again. Cale Yarborough, Mel Kenyon, and Bud Tingelstad are involved, and the field continues to shrink. But Parnelli Jones has it made. His crew gives him the easy sign. There's no hurry. He's almost a full lap ahead of Foyt. And there's only 4 laps to go.
We understand.
But suddenly, Parnelli is slowing down. A bearing in the gearbox worth just $6 fails. And the rest of the dramatic story needs no words.
Out of the number 4 turn, his crew running up after him. With just 4 laps to go, it'll be A.J. Foyt moving into the lead. A.J. Foyt will go into the lead as Parnelli Jones is coasting to a stop. Waiting now to get the right of A.J.
Foyt comes around to take the checkered flag, but fate intervenes again.
Foyt should be moving into the number 4 turn now. There he is. There he is. And a speed right in front of him. A speed right in front of him.
In the 200th lap, an engine blows and 4 cars pile up in the main straightaway. Somehow, A.J. Foyt gets through the nets to cross the line, taking the checkered flag, and joining Maury Rose, Wilbur Shaw, and Louis Meyer, a select group of men who have won the 500 3 times. Since his rookie year in 1958, A.J. Foyt has been a hard and consistent competitor, both at Indianapolis and on the championship circuit. Foyt is a man who drives hard and works hard at his driving. And sincere congratulations from Brooks Firestone on his record-setting speed achievement on the 31st day in May.
Never before in the history of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway have so many thousands upon thousands of people crowded through the gates to witness the greatest event in auto racing. And never before have positions in the first 2 starting rows been won by men driving so many different types of speed concepts. Each machine is an individual look into the future, to be tested and proven in a contest which has no equal. That is the essence of the 500. But what is the Indianapolis Motor Speedway? It is a product of the motor racing age, made of bricks, asphalt, cement, and the ground of Indiana. It is the kind of a place where a young racer can walk slowly back from his path into the wall and ask himself, was it me or was it the car? It is a place where a veteran racer can make up his mind in 2 seconds about retiring. It is a place where you spend 29 days getting ready for a 3-hour and 16-minute race. And there's still not enough time. The wind blows, and you slow down. An engine blows, and oil is on the track. Everything stops for hours. Then it rains, and everything stops for days. It's a place where a man can stand and puzzle over a mechanical creation, trying to find the key to winning performance. It is the kind of a place where a young man, cast in the image of his famous father, can become a legend in his own time. It's a place where you can be happy because you found a good car or set a new record. But the heart of the 60-year-old Speedway lies here in Gasoline Alley, where men with their eyes on tomorrow experiment and work to make dreams of the future winning realities of today. Joe Leonard is an 18-year veteran of racing, starting in motorcycles, then stock cars. He finished third in the 1967 500, and now his new romance with the turbine continues as Parnelli Jones watches. His speed climbs to a fantastic new one-lap record of 171.953. The average is 171.559. Last year, 3 Granatelli brothers watched their world come to an end as Parnelli Jones coasted slowly to a stop in the 196th lap. But right now, the sun shines again in Indianapolis. Their turbine is on the pole, and Joe Leonard has taken a big step into the future. When Jim Hurtubise left the starting line in his front-engine roadster, he said he would qualify or crash. Hurtubise will try again another day. 1 turbine, 2 turbines, and now 3. Art Pollock makes the field. For Jim Hurtubise, it's a case of plain stubbornness. He's made up his mind that his front-engine roadster would make the field. From somewhere, he coaxes that extra bit of speed and qualifies at 162.191. Larry Dixon tries out the car in which Mario Andretti set last year's pole record. Maybe some of the magic still clings to the car, or maybe Dixon, like Jim Hurtubise, has a stubborn streak. At the last moment, he bumps Bruce Walkup and wins a place for race day. Qualifying is finally over.
This is a story about a racetrack, the men who race here, and one man in particular. His name is Mario Andretti. He entered the big leagues of auto racing in 1965 and was named Indianapolis Rookie of the Year. It was even predicted that he might win the 500. As it turned out, he did finish third on a bright, sunny afternoon in 1965. In the years that followed at Indianapolis, the sun refused to shine on Mario Andretti. He was 18th, 30th, and then in 1968, he was 33rd. But along the way, the popular Italian-born driver won the pole starting position for the 500 twice, earned 2 United States Auto Club national championships, and lost 2 others by a few points. One of them to A.J. Foyt, the other to Bobby Unser. Then in May of 1969, Mario Andretti made a discovery. It was when Graham Hill spun in turn 4. There are 4 turns. Each one is an individual challenge.
finish the 500, you must make 200 laps around the 2.5-mile speedway. This adds up to 800 left-hand turns. Mario Andretti suddenly realized what he had been doing wrong. He'd been thinking about 800 left-hand turns and not about that 801st one. That's the one where you turn left into winner's circle. Turn left to win. Mario is as ready as he ever will be. He starts out to qualify for his 5th Indianapolis 500. 4 laps, 10 miles, 16 left-hand turns, all in 3 minutes, 31.95 seconds. The average speed is 169.851, second to A.J. Foyt. Mario's car owner, Andy Granatelli, is on hand to greet him. Maybe he's just what Mario needs, a lesson in patience. Andy's been waiting for an Indy winner for 23 years. Mario's been trying for only 5. His name is Mark Donahue, a rookie driver. His speed of 168.903 is the fastest ever turned in by a newcomer. He will become Rookie of the Year. Bobby Unser is next out. The current national champion and 1968 500 winner turns out a 4-lap average of 169.683. And that sews up the front row. Now Albuquerque's Al Unser takes his new Johnny Lightning 500 special onto the track. The crew is lighthearted, the car runs good, and the Pikes Peak Hill Climb champion is on his way. He's got a lot going for him. His car was built by George Bignotti, who engineered A.J. Foyt's 1961 winner. His advisor is Parnelli Jones, the 1963 500 winner and car co-owner with Vel Miletich. Seemingly without effort, the speed climbs to 171.3 miles per hour, unofficially. Ironically, it's Joe Leonard, his teammate, whose record of 171.9 he seeks to break. Leonard established this in a turbine car in qualifying for the 1968 race. And again, ironically, it was Al's brother Bobby who won in that year when Leonard's car quit just a few laps from victory. But this is 1970, and Bobby is having the same problems as everyone else. How do you find the speed to beat Al? Time runs out. Qualifying day arrives. A.J. Foyt takes the checkered flag. His speed is over the 170-mile-per-hour mark. Good for a front-row spot. Bruce Walkup, by contrast, qualifying for his second 500, is happy to be ready on the first day. Al's Johnny Lightning rolls onto the track. To win the pole, all he has to do is keep on doing what he's been doing. The checkered flag, the speed 170.221. With a field of the best drivers waiting, it remains to be seen if this speed will hold up for the pole position. It had been predicted that it would take 172 miles per hour to get the job done.
Al Unser riding easily in front. All he needs to do is hang together, and the race is his. Gear problems rob Foyt of his speed, and he goes under the white line to avoid faster traffic. Bobby Unser loses the turbocharger, and his loss of power slows him to a comparative crawl. The white flag now for car number 2, denoting just one more lap. Al Unser just 2.5 miles from victory. Turn 3 now, less than half a lap to go. And there it is, the checkered flag from starter Pat Padan. Unser starts the victory lap. The crowds and Al exchange cheers. 500 full miles in less than 3 hours and 13 minutes. George Bignati and Parnelli Jones lead Al's crew in their dash for victory lane. It's been a true team victory. And the rewards, the fame, are waiting for first-time winner Al Unser. This is the first $1 million payoff in racing history. Al's wife, Wanda, and mother, Mrs. Jerry Unser, are waiting. Mrs. Unser's been here before, but not Al and Wanda. Mark Donahue was second, only 32 seconds behind. Dan Gurney in third. 5 cars finished the full 200 laps as the race has stopped. Al leaves victory lane for his triumphant tour of the oval. Donnie Allison is fourth. Jim McElreath is fifth. Mario Andretti finishes sixth. Great driving ability, combined with engineering skill, enabled Al to lead all but 10 laps. The name Unser again goes into Speedway history.
Attention in the pit area. Now go along, gentlemen. Your machine out on the track in your proper position. Well, you line up. Gentlemen, start your engine! Everybody aboard those up and the racing car begins to pull away on the right left. And right there, what's up on the line? The pace car. Turn number 4, the pace car moving away at 125 miles an hour. Let's see if it pulls into the pit area. It does. Peter Lipton then brings it down. Peter Lipton sings the throw down. And the pace car is
From the 67th lap till the 118th lap, a duel between teammates makes history. The lead passes from Al Unser to Joe Leonard and back again. There are 4 lead changes in rapid succession as Lloyd Ruby, Peter Revson, and Bobby Unser keep pace with the dueling drivers. In the 99th lap, Lloyd Ruby moves to the front for 3 circuits, passes to Bobby Unser. And then in the main straightaway, David Hobbs blew an engine. Rick Muther was right behind him at that moment. The rest you can see. Al Unser got through safely. So did A.J. Foyt and others as Harlan Fangler slowed the field. The caution light is on. Al Unser comes in for 14 seconds to top off his tanks. He had made a pit stop about 15 laps before. Now he's back running with full tanks. The wrecks are cleared away from the main straight. The green flag comes out as Joe Leonard pits. He leaves behind a cloud of smoke and coasts slowly around the track. His turbocharger failed, and now the hope of the Johnny Lightning Samsonite team rests with Al Unser, who leads with his brother Bobby in close pursuit. 165th lap, a wheel comes off Mike Mosley's car, and Bobby Unser has a choice to make. Hit Mosley or hit the wall. As it turned out, they both piled into cars parked earlier by Krisloff and Mark Donahue. Bobby is shaken but unhurt. Mosley is hospitalized. And while this is going on, Lloyd Ruby experiences that annual frustration which appears to be becoming the rule rather than the exception. At one time or another, Lloyd Ruby has led almost every 500 since 1966, only to have it end for him like this. For Bobby, the long walk back. And for little brother, the green flag, the lead. And clear sailing with only Peter Revson on the same lap with him. The last 11 laps are quiet, uneventful, except perhaps for those butterflies in Al's stomach as he gets closer to the finish. The checkered flag. Al Unser has done it. He has won his second Indianapolis 500. Peter Revson is second by 23 seconds. A.J. Foyt shows up in third. And Denny Zimmerman, he finished 8th, made Rookie of the Year, and took home $27,000. Al Unser has just joined a very select group of men. Those that have won the 500 back-to-back. Maury Rose, Wilbur Shaw, Bill Vukovich, and now Al Unser. The average winning speed of 157.735 is a new record for the 500. Now they'll have to make that 48 out of 55. 1911 to 1971, 60 years of progress in a fast-moving world where tomorrow's ideas for automotive performance and safety are proven here during the month of May. The crowd is gone. There's a few minutes to reflect on the fast month just passed. Down there a couple of hours ago, Al Unser received his ovation. Behind him, a long line of 500 winners stretching back to 1911. And behind them, the men who work and plan for the race for tomorrow.